Hey y'all, it's your Sassy Southern Grandma, Cindy. This week's video is about how we are going to make 2025 your best year ever, and also my best year ever. I'm kind of taking you guys through what I'm doing to prepare for next year. So let's get to it. Glad to be back again. It's been a couple of weeks. I had to go out of town. I just want to thank all of you for your condolences on my father's passing. It was a nice trip. As in spite of the circumstances, I got to see all my siblings and a lot of cousins, and I was able to be there for them and they for me. And I was able to see my mother while I was there. So that was some good things about it. And I know that my father was at peace when he passed, so I'm not really concerned about that. And he's much more comfortable now. He had congestive heart failure, so he was in a lot of struggling to get air and breathe and stuff. And so it's good to know that he's peaceful now. And I also want to thank all my new subscribers. Things kind of blew up while I was gone. I kept an eye on it though. I didn't leave you out. I was watching it, and I appreciate all the new subscribers. I appreciate that you like all the Southern sayings that we went over and that you could relate. A lot of people could relate and even added some in there, and those were hilarious. I appreciate all your comments and hope that you will continue to watch, and we will get started on our new video. So if we're going to make 2025 the best year ever, we have got to have a plan. But today, I just want to talk about a general overview. If you're going somewhere on a trip, you're going to put in your GPS, your destination. So today, we're going to talk about destinations. Where is it that you want to be this time next year? What do you want your life to look like this time next year? Get out a piece of paper or a notebook and a pen. You can pause right here if you need to. And you may want to take some notes. Write some things down that might jog some ideas in your mind between now and next week when we get into a little bit more details of how we're going to make these things happen. So many years of my life, I made resolutions. Not really. I kind of said, this year I want to do blah, blah, blah. Or I hope this year's better because I need to do so and so. But you know what we do? February. The gym is empty because all the January people, they're not going anymore. And all the other things that we plan to do kind of fall by the wayside because, in my case anyway, I didn't have a plan. I had no clue where I was going, how I was going to get there. I knew what I wanted, but I didn't commit to an action plan. I didn't commit to anything to do in between January 1st and December 31st to get me where I thought I wanted to go. Honestly, I really didn't know where I wanted to go. Didn't give it a whole lot of thought. I just thought, yeah, I want to lose weight. I want to do this. I want to go here. I want to go there. I want to travel. I want to really vague stuff. So today we're going to talk about big picture. We're going to talk about where do you want to be December 31st, 2025. Take some time. Get you a cup of coffee, sweet iced tea. Get you whatever your favorite beverage is and sit down with a notebook and really talk to yourself. Ask yourself, talk to yourself, what do I want my life to look like? Because most of us are not completely satisfied with where we are. We might be content, and I'm content. I love my life. But there's so many things I want to accomplish, so many things I want to do, so many things I'd like to change. We can all improve. We are all a work in progress. So think about, what are those things that are really, really important to you? Maybe sit down and write out, next year on December 31st, 2025, this is what my typical day is going to look like. This is what I'm going to be doing. This is what my ideal day would look like once I accomplish the things I'm setting out right now to do. A year seems like a long time right now, but how fast did this year go by? Think about all the things you did accomplish this year. Celebrate that. Be happy about that. And then look at the things that you wanted to get done, but you didn't, and why didn't you? Is it something that's really not that important to you? Or is it something that you want to do, but you're not quite sure how to get there? Or something that seems impossible? but it's something that you really desire to do. So first of all, think about, what do you want your life to look like? What will you do when you get up in the morning, December 31st, 2025? So the big question is how? How are we going to get there? Because we're going to follow through. We're going to, starting next week, make some plans, set up some really concrete things we can do. Then the next week, we're going to talk about overcoming obstacles, because we're always going to have obstacles to what we want to do. Because the things we want to do sort of get pushed by the wayside for the things we have to do. So we'll talk about that. But how we do it is step by step. So we'll work on that next week. Why is the most important thing right now? Why do you want to be or do the things you want to be and do by the end of next year? What is the real reason? Think down past your mind into your heart. Think about the things. Is there something you've always wanted to do, but you've never done? Something you've always wanted to learn that you haven't ever learned? It could be simple. It could be something as simple as learning how to type without looking at the keyboard. You know, are you a hunt pecker and you want to learn how to really type? Simple. That's something that you can learn how to do. Another language, you can learn how to do that. It could be something big. It doesn't matter. What's important is what's important to you, what you want to do. I'm thinking about what's important to me. What do I want to do? Another important thing is, how do you want to feel next year? What kind of emotions do you want to be ruling your life next year? Do you look at your life right now and it's hectic and it's stressful and it's just go here, go there with no clear organization or no clear plan of how we're going to get things done? We just got to get them done, like throwing spaghetti against the wall and see how much sticks. If this is something that's bothering you and you lay down at night and go, I don't feel like I accomplished anything today but just running around, you can change that. You can change that between now and next year, between now and next December. You can change how you feel. That's an inside job. So we're going to talk about that in the future, but right now we want to talk about how the emotions that you want to feel are. What, do you want to be peaceful? Do you want to be less stressed? Do you want to be more energetic? Do you want to be less fearful? Do you want to be more loving to other people? What are the feelings and emotions that you want to be living in by next year this time? Just jot those things down, just to give us some ideas of where to work, what to work with. Now we can get to what needs to change for you to get there. You probably know some of the things you need to change. You probably know that if you're stressed out because you're running here and there, you need to get some things off your calendar. Maybe you don't have a calendar and that's the problem. You don't even know where you're going. These are the things we need to think about. What do we need to change? I have provided for you down in the description. There's a free resource for you. It's called a mind map. I put one copy there that has some questions to help you think through each section. And then I put a blank one there so that you can fill it in with your ideas and the things that you want to accomplish. We're going to look at the different aspects of our lives. We're going to look at our body, our soul, our mind. We're going to look at money. We're going to look at relationships. That's just the first 6 I came up with. If you think of other areas that are more suited to what your goals are and your dreams are, by all means, mark out one of them and put it in there, or draw another bubble and get you another category there. But I have down on this paper, I'm going to look at mine so that I can get these right. We'll start with body, because most of the time, most of the people, unless you're already thin and happy with your body, who is, the most highly sought after resolution every year is lose weight, get in shape, get fit, lift weights, look better, be firm, be toned. That's one of the most popular ones that comes out every year. And of course, you ever been to Planet Fitness in January? You don't want to go there. Even if you're a member already, you dread January because it's full, it's packed. You can't find a treadmill because everybody's going to get in shape. Until about February 10th, 15th, they're gone. They're out doing their own thing that they were doing before January 1st. But when we think about our bodies, let's think about everything. Let's think about, when have you last had a checkup? When have you last been to the doctor? I'm a nurse, and I meet so many people that I haven't been to a doctor in 10, 12, 15 years. And unless something goes wrong that they can see or feel as a symptom, they don't go. Then they get to the hospital and find out they got high cholesterol, high blood pressure, high blood sugar, or some things that could be really life-threatening. A lot of things can be nipped in the bud if you go get your yearly checkups. Screenings are wonderful. Get off of that high horse now. Do you have any risk factors? Do you have certain diseases or tendencies in your family that you're at a high risk for? You can control a lot of those things with your lifestyle. Think about those things. What do you want to improve? Do you want to be stronger? Do you want to be able to run around with your grandkids or your kids? Do you want to learn a new sport? Do you want to get involved in a local volleyball team? Is there something physical that you are wanting to accomplish that you just keep putting on the back burner? You are important. We take our kids to sports. We take our grandkids. We go sit at our grandkids' games. But we have to take care of ourselves as well if we're going to be there for those people. So think about your body, and also include, a lot of times they cut the head off of the body and mental health is not even talked about. We also need to talk about mental health. Let's talk about your mind. How's it going up there, upstairs? It's not going so well for a lot of people right now, but there's so many things we can do about that. If you need to find a therapist, if you need to find a good friend to talk to, if there's some things mulling around in there that you need to talk to somebody about, do something about it this year. Your mind is also education. What do you want to learn? Are there books you want to read? Are there subjects you want to know more about? Is there something you want to learn to do that you need to get the information about that? You can learn anything on YouTube. So there are plenty of books, plenty of videos to learn. Information is gold now. It's just, there's information just splattered at you all the time, from your phone, from your computer, from everywhere. So there's no excuse for not knowing something that you want to know. Think about your mind. How can you keep your mind active? Especially us folks that are getting on up in years, we need to keep our mind active, because if you don't move it, you're going to lose it. And that goes for your mind as well as your muscles. Maybe you want to get some more formal education. I think I told you before, I went to nursing school when I was 54 and went to nursing school 2 years, got out, and now I'm a nurse. It wasn't easy, but it was something I wanted to do, and I had no choice but to do it. That's what I wanted to do. So you can do anything at any age. So there's no point in making age an excuse. There are people who've become lawyers in their 50s and 60s. So there's no excuses for that. But is it something you want to do? Not what other people want you to do, not what you think you ought to do. I hate what you should do and what you ought to. Those phrases are just, I hate them. What do you want to do? What is important to you? The next area we'll talk about is soul. What is your belief system? Have you even thought about that? Most of us grow up in a certain belief system, and we stay in that belief system our whole life. We don't never question it. If you grow up in church, if you grow up out of church, if you grow up in a Catholic church, if you grow up in a Baptist church, if you grow up in some other religion that is what your parents and grandparents did, normally we just go along with that and just go with the flow and never even question it. But we need to know what our own personal values are. What do we really believe? What's important to us deep down in our soul? There may be something in the faith or belief system that you're following that really conflicts with something that is important to you, that you believe. It's important to look at that area of your life. Relationships. Are there relationships that you want to cultivate? Do you feel like you don't have a really good friend? Do you feel like you have too many friends? Do you feel like there's some people you don't want to be friends with anymore and you really need to kind of cut the cord? There's no shame in that, man. If they are toxic, if there's somebody in your life that is nothing but stress, they're taking more than they're giving, that's not a friend. That's an energy drain. So think about relationships. Which ones would you like to put more investment in? Which ones would you like to not invest in at all? Are you single and you want to be coupled up with somebody? How do you go about that? There's things that we kind of think about sometimes, but we never really focus on. Is there something in the relationship area, family, friends, that you have already? Do you want to spend more time with them? Do you want to plan more outings? Do you want to plan more get-togethers? Any of those things that pop out to you that are really important to you, listen to yourself. Listen to your intuition. Listen to what is it I really want? What am I missing in the relationship department? Then scribble those things down in that area, and we'll start moving towards those things. Money. Next to losing weight and getting in shape, money is another biggie everybody's always thinking about. They want to make more money. More money, more money, more money. That doesn't always bring happiness, but it sure don't make you sad. So, I don't know if I believe that money can't buy happiness, because it sure can buy food and shelter and a dependable car and all the things that we need to be happy. It's hard to be happy when you don't even have the basic necessities of life. But if we have those basic necessities, what do we want to do with the money that we do have? Do you want to try and make more? Are you looking to get a promotion this year? Are you looking to start a business? Are you trying to get into investing? I know zero about investing, but I've already started reading a book to help me learn a little bit about that, because there are risks, but there are also rewards. And if you're smart about it, you could do pretty well in that. So is that something you need to learn about? Some of these sections are going to kind of cross over, like your mind would be learning about investing, and that also correlates with your money section. So some of these things will cross over, and you'll be doing two things at once, learning and making some more money. Is there something you want to give more to? Are there certain charities, organizations, any place or people that you're interested in supporting more with your money? Do you have some extra that you're like, I really would like to help some people? Who can I help? Think about that. What's important to you? I have a soft heart for single moms because I was one. And anytime I can help a single mom, I'm all about it, because I know that it's a struggle. Unless you married some basketball star and divorced him and you got a really good, sweet alimony check coming, it is difficult to be a single mom. So that's something that's really close to me. And my husband has a soft spot for homeless people. And so that's something that we're very interested in helping and looking after. And a lot of times we just hand them whatever cash we've got. And I know there's some controversy sometimes with that, but we like to do whatever we can do. So think about those things. Are there places or people that you want to contribute more to this year? How can you make that happen? Maybe you have a lot of debt, or even a little bit of debt, and you want to get debt-free. That's a big thing that a lot of people are working on, and it's very smart. And of course, I have some debt, and that's something I want to work on this year, is trying to pay some of that down, perhaps pay some of it off. And that's such a freedom when you know you don't have anything hanging out there in the sky that you owe people to. Seems unreal sometimes because it's all electronic now, but it's there, and it's something that matters. So if you want to become debt-free this year, you got to have a plan. You can't just say, we're going to do that, and then next thing you know, it's next December and you haven't done anything different. So think about those things. Mission. This is something we don't think about a lot. What are we here for? What's the big picture? Do you have a certain talent, a certain creativity, a certain knack for something? Do you have something? And most of us do. And most of us, if we give it any thought at all, know what it is. We have things that we can contribute to other people. We have knowledge, especially as we get older. We have wisdom. We have knowledge. We know what we did that went wrong. And we can help other people not make those same mistakes, which is part of why I even started this channel. Because I have not done everything right. And I want to be able to help other people, my children, your children, all of us. I love to help people not make the same mistakes I did, learn from my mistakes. I've thought a lot about what I would have done differently in a lot of different situations. But we all have something to contribute. We're not here just to get up, go to work, come home, go to bed, have fun on the weekends, get up. That's not what we're here for. We all are here as a community. Whether our society wants us to feel that way or not, we're all connected. Even people that we don't agree with, which I have to keep in mind a lot. But we are all connected. What I do affects other people. What you do affects other people. So let's think about our big picture, our mission. What are we here for? A lot of us have thought about what we're here for. Some of us haven't given it any thought at all. But there's no time like the present to stop and think, what is this all about? Now, we're not going to answer that question because philosophers have been trying to answer it for centuries. But we can look at our sphere of influence and think, what can I do to make the world in my area of the world better? What can I do that contributes to the elevation of the rest of society? With things the way they are, especially in the United States, and I'm sure in other countries too, so many things are out of alignment. So many things are so misconstrued as to what's important. And we get bombarded with so much of that stuff all the time, it's hard to remember that we're all people. We're all pretty much the same. Doesn't matter. Take all our skin off, we all look the same. You ever seen that guy in the anatomy book that's just the skin's off and it's a muscle guy? That's what we all look like on the inside, and we're all the same, and we all go through the same things. So there's no reason for us not to try and make things just a little bit better for somebody else. So think about what is my mission? What am I here for? What is the big picture? And especially as it pertains to this coming year, what can I do to move towards those things? It doesn't have to be a huge thing. You don't have to start a multi-million-dollar business or a charity that wipes out some kind of disease. You don't have to do all that. Every little thing we do that affects somebody else's life is important. It's very important to that person that it affects. So think about your passions. What are you passionate about? We all have something. And just think about those things. What's important to you? How can you connect your action to your passion? How can you put feet? And they used to say in church, how can you put feet to your faith? The Bible says faith without works is dead. So we got to walk the talk. You can't just talk the talk. Can you volunteer your time? Once a week, once a month. Any little bit helps. But let's make it something we're passionate about. Think about this coming year. Between now and next week, have a few things written down in these categories and be thinking about what is the most important thing I want to do this year. What is the most important thing when I look at December 31st, 2025? What is the most important thing that I would like to see change? What is the thing that would make the most difference in my life and the lives of people around me? It could be something as simple as, I just don't want to lose my temper with my kids so much. Honey, I've been there. I had 5 kids. You think I didn't lose my temper? I'll give you their email addresses. If you want, you can ask them. Instagram, Facebook, they'll tell you. But we could have all done better, and we can all do better now. We can't do anything about the past. We can only work on now. Between now and next week, get these things filled out. Think about it. Most importantly, give it some serious thought. Where do you want to be December 31st, 2025? I know I'm going to be thinking about it and writing out my little mind map. So we'll be doing this together. Come back and see me next week. Be sure and subscribe so you don't miss any part of this series. And if you like this content, be sure and hit the like button. It helps the channel a lot. If there's somebody that you know, maybe you have a friend and you've been talking about, what are we going to do this year? You've been talking about some things that you want to change, and they're like, yeah, me too. Send them this video. And you can work on it together. Make it a little friend project. Just give it some thought this week. And if you do that, you'll be at least one step closer to doing what you want to do next year. Thanks for joining me. I'm glad you came, and be sure and come back next week and we'll continue this series.
I'll come back now. Yeah.